Visiting scholar at the David Rockefeller Center for Latin American Studies at Harvard is generally a senior, rather distinguished scholar who has a sabbatical or a great need to finish a book. So you can imagine that Antonio Martorell's stay at the David Rockefeller Center was an innovation because he's the first artist who was invited to spend a season at the David Rockefeller Center to practice his art.
We're going to miss having his spirit and his life with us when he goes back to Puerto Rico. So we hope he will continue to visit us. And we'll come back to see what's happened to the Masters when the fogg reopens in 4 years. Antonio Martorell.
And I have titled my brief talk, brief, very brief, The Artist in the Museum. What does an artist do in a museum? It's wonderful to have you here. We always meet at the center, which is our place of work, and I'm here at the fogg thanks to the Centro, but it's my pleasure to share with you the joy of this place. I have talked often about it, individually and collectively, but it's not the same as having it here en su propia salsa, in your own stew, as we say in Puerto Rico. The artist has a particular way of conversing with art, and one of them, amongst many, is to be able to cross the threshold, the frontier of the frame, that very imposing, or the urn in terms of sculpture of objects. And when you relate to it in a way, conversing with them, not with your mouth, but with your eye and hand, things crop up, things happen, revelations occur, and what I try to do is share them with the public that will eventually see my work. One of the things one learns is how to approach a painting, what to say to it, what to ask of it, how to look at it. And that sounds easy, but it isn't. You have to place yourself in different positions. The spectator now and here, the spectator then and there, the artist in his own time with his preoccupations, his nationality, his ideology. It's a learning process all around, and it's a wonderful process once you begin exploring it. So let's do away with theory and let's go to practice right now, where we had our first conversation with the painting.
Desde que llegué al fogg, pues me fascinó este retrato de Rembrandt, ¿verdad? Que dice la literatura aquí al pie del cuadro que más que un retrato es una pintura genérica, es un hombre anciano. Pero para mi grata sorpresa, encontré aquí en el museo un guardián que por aquí viene. Tuve la suerte que le pedí que posara y conseguí la relación entre el guardián, que es una de las cosas que me interesa, ¿verdad? Y el retrato. Entonces lo titulé Los dos Rembrandts, The Two Rembrandts, because one of them is walking right through the museum. It's a walking portrait, and this one that is on the wall.
My name is Danny Maher. I'm one of the senior guards at the Harvard Art Museums. These museums are a teaching institution. The 6th ranked art museum in the United States is the Fogg, where we're standing right now. Nearly every guard who works here has some kind of training or background in the arts. Most of the guards are painters, and it has given them a very vested interest in protecting this collection. We also have a lot of interaction with the students who come here, with the public generally, just as I've interacted with Antonio.
It was his idea to bring the drop cloth, which I had thought of before.
If this place was on fire, I would not doubt at all that you would find among the dead guards who are trying to bring paintings out of this place. And I think that that's important, because what this is really is not a possession of Harvard University. It's a cultural treasure that Harvard University holds in trust for all mankind now and into the future. we as guards, we are the stewards of a cultural treasure. And it's not a cultural treasure just for the rich, it's a cultural treasure for the mechanic and his children that come here. It's a cultural treasure for a student who might come here, whether they're from Harvard or whether they're from Cambridge Rindge and Latin or whether they're from over in Roxbury. This institution is seminal to mankind's ability to come to grips with their inner life. And I think that people like Antonio who come and take artwork that is hundreds of years old and take it a step further and involve people who come in and watch him work and talk to him and interact with him. I think that that is a great service to the arts generally. It's a great service to this institution certainly, but it furthers the art. It furthers the life of the art of Rembrandt. In this painting, you have a work by Rembrandt that shows not an old man per se, but a man who has lived in the world, who has gone out and lived in his body. And the experiences of that life are very evident in the physical flesh.